Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of CNETV. So today we are going to be talking about state of business between UAE and Africa. These two nations or two regions have a good relationship and also they do a lot of businesses. So joining me to discuss this amazing topic is Ambassador Dunston P, who is the COO of the private office of his Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Faisal Al Wasimi. Thank you for joining us, Ambassador Austin.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
It's a pleasure. So, how is UAE today?
UAE is definitely doing extremely well, especially after the pandemic. We have come back very fast back to business, and of course now last few days the weather also had been good, and with the Expo 2020 going well, there has been a huge inflow of people from across the world, and we could feel the pulse from each of them because, as you know, the pandemic has disturbed the business activities across the world. So most of the people, they are looking at Dubai as a destination where they feel safe, and they think that yes, things will not go wrong and can do well. And most importantly, see, uh, Africa. I'm very close to Africa because I'm very attached with the people of Africa. With many nations, I'm closely connected, especially in the West Africa. Okay, and Africa, I would say, is the next booming country. It is going to be the next country that the whole world is going to looking forward to, and in the next 10 to 15 years, it is going to be the number one in the world. That
Yeah,
that
that's
because
very
Africa has got
impressive.
so much of potential. Africa has got so much of resources, both in terms of material and people. They have got
Okay,
highly talented. They have got
Ambassador
highly
Dustin.
talented professionals. They have got highly talented professionals. It is how
Yeah,
we, yeah,
Ambassador
how we guide
Dustin.
them. How we guide them.
Yeah, can you hear me, Ambassador Dustin? Let's look at what are some of the opportunities, when it comes to business between these two regions. What are some of the opportunities?
No opportunities. If I would say, uh, the opportunities have we have come now redefined a new set of opportunities after the pandemic, because we all faced a lot of difficulties. So if I would say today, healthcare is the number one opportunity in Africa, because that is something which I would say 60 to 70% of the people are still not uh, reachable to. A proper health facility in Africa is something, a very good opportunity today, especially in terms of medicines, healthcare, and we are working on that. UAE is working on that in terms of providing a better service for medical facilities in Africa. We are now bringing in a lot of pharmaceutical companies into UAE to establish or set up their manufacturing facility, and the prime motive is to export these medicines to African countries at a very, very economical price, so that every individual in Africa can afford these medicines. That is number one. The second opportunity I see is agriculture, because the pandemic has proved or has taught each one of us that if any country is self sufficient with its food requirement, that country is safe. Because even if you have a lockdown, or even if the country is closed, if you have your own food materials, the people can survive. So agriculture is another important factor or another important opportunity in Africa, because Africa has got huge fertile land. And I am personally involved in two or three organizations like Aero from Nigeria, where we are working on greenhouses. We are now promoting greenhouses in a small manner, very cost effective greenhouses, which is costing only about 50 to $100 to make one greenhouse. And in one greenhouse, you can make any amount of vegetables or small cultivations that you can. The idea is basically to promote agriculture among the people, so that the fertile land that each one of you have is converted into an agriculture resources, and you can use those products for local consumption as well as for export, which will bring in a lot of economy to the country. So healthcare and agriculture are two important factors which I foresee an opportunity. And of course, the next biggest opportunity is going to be infrastructure, because in West Africa, which I've been discussing with many countries, infrastructure is very poor. Like roads, like
Okay,
good roads,
okay.
airport, seaport. So these are all some of the opportunities.
Yeah, Ambassador Dunston, let's look at similarities. Are there some things that UAE and Africa, these two regions, are there some things they have in common that will also facilitate the business between the two regions?
See, if you see, Africa is one of the major um, continent which has been supporting or doing business in Africa after China. After China, UAE is the next biggest country that is doing a lot of support mechanism in Africa. So if you see, and UAE has got a abundant people of Africa nationalities who are working in various capacities. So there is a huge similarity between both UAE and Africa, where the country's culture, where the country's knowledge is shared between African people and the Emiratis, or the UAE nationals. So similarities are plenty, and it is how we kind of encash these similarities. And what I see is there is a huge resource of new business people from Africa who wanted to uh, either establish their business as a startup or uh, expand in other countries. So this is where we from the private office are looking at mentoring these youngsters and make sure that their ideas are conceived, and they are provided with the required funding from venture capitalists, and make sure that they are able to establish their business and grow in the business and bring in economy growth in the country.
Look at your position. I see your position. You have experience and a lot of experience connection with Africa. What ways are you facilitating business in between these two regions?
See, facilitating in the sense, we have now created something called the African UAE hub. We have an hub based out of UAE in our office itself, where we have people supporting African nationals who are coming into this country with genuine informations, genuine support from the government, and make sure that they are guided properly in terms of businesses. See, when a person comes to us and say that we want to start a mineral water plant, we will tell them this: please don't do that, because there is a huge competition in this country, and we guide them and tell them that enter into a business which is not that competitive, but which can add value to that country and its people. So we facilitate them and we guide them and we handhold them, in the sense we also look at joint ventures with good potential business people, and we give them the necessary licenses from this country, and we also provide them with funding in case wherever there is requirement, and also make sure that they set up their company and grow in this country as we go along. So from our end, we are open, and we are to a large extent facilitating lot of African nationals who are coming from that country to establish their business in UAE. And we are ourselves going into Africa. We have been invited by many governments to establish or set up infrastructures in those countries, and we are looking forward to that.
Yeah, interesting. That's interesting. So sorry. So sorry. So let's look. Lastly, before we draw the curtain on today's episode of CNTV interview session, let's. What are some of the challenges when it comes to business between these two regions? How do you see the future of business between the two regions?
See, the challenges what we see, if for any person coming into this country, is integrity and performance, and they should be knowledgeable to enter into a global market, because UAE is a global market. As far as Africa is concerned, we are looking forward to a consistent support from the government, because most of the democratic governments, they are not that supportive. I'm not blaming anybody, but many of the government are not that supportive to the youngsters or to the younger generation of entrepreneurs. So that has to change. The political people, or the government itself, should come forward and support these people, and we are willing to handhold them. And at any point of time, I think these are some of the challenges which I foresee in Africa. The
Thank
support
you
from the
very
government
much.
has to be, yeah.
Okay, do you want to add something more?
No, I said the support from the government has to be very high, because now I am in touch with a couple of the presidential candidates of Nigeria who is contesting for the 2023 elections, and their dream or their vision is all to support the young entrepreneurs who are upcoming in Africa, and make sure that they have been given proper guidance, proper support, and make sure that the dream of making Africa the next biggest continent in the world is fulfilled. It is possible, because I am interacting with many African nationals, and the kind of talent and the kind of knowledge, the kind of language is phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Oh,
And
thank
we,
you
we
very
should we
much.
should co- yeah, we should come out of the general mindset among people that Africa is a poor country. It is not. It is rich. It is rich in material and resources. The human resources is the best asset Africa has ever got.
Uh, Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Amazing time out with you, Mr. Dustin P. Thank you very much. We really appreciate. Looking forward to having you more on our shows. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting, and I look forward to supporting the youths of Africa and see what best I can support from this country in my position.